What is up, Niner Gang? Top of the morning to you all. Hope everybody's having a great morning today. Getting some 49er football and some other football as well, huh? I'm going to try and stall a little bit until we start getting everybody pouring in here little by little, getting the notifications sent out and clicked on. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing good today. We got 49er football against the Rams. Usually a good day for us, typically. But I think we got a little bit of a different one on our hands today, right? No Deebo Samuel, no Eric Armstead, no Javon Kinlaw, no who else? No Mosley, of course. He was there last time. Who else was there last time that isn't there today? I forget. But we did have some guys activated. And one of the guys I was talking about in the last video, Willie Snead. So he's going to be active today. Also, Big Play Tay Martin. He was hyped about a little bit in training camp. I know like one guy, Larry Kruger, and Larry Kruger knows his stuff. If you guys don't know who that is, Larry Kruger, reporter from the Bay Area, talks about the Warriors and Giants and stuff too. But he was really excited about Big Play Tay. And so Big Play Tay is activated today. We might get to see a little bit of what he's got, hopefully, because I've been curious. Also, defensive lineman T.Y. McGill has been activated as well. So we might get to see a couple guys kind of show off what they can do coming off the practice squad. Crazy Juice is in here. Thank you for being here, man. Hope you're having a great day. And he says, go Niners. Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. We better win today, man. I'm going to be so pissed off, honestly. We just got to have those second guys roll in and show up to the damn game, really. We're not going to have Deebo Samuel today. So this is an opportunity for certain guys to step up. For example, last year you had Mohamed Sanu starting over Juwan Jennings. Mohamed Sanu goes down, and then this guy Juwan Jennings shows up, and he's super clutch and a very critical piece of the offense as soon as he comes out, man. So, hopefully we have a situation like that where somebody shows up that nobody was really talking about or had their eye on or anything, and shows that he could be a rotational piece for Deebo or even just for the offense in general. So I'm excited to see that, man, because I've been an underdog before when it comes to football. Well, really, when it comes to a lot of things in sports, I've been the underdog, and that a lot of times could be the guy that shows up and is ready to play more than anybody else, and it shows on the field. So I'm ready to see that, man. If there was ever a time, now's the time, because the 49ers have to win this game, man. This is bullshit. We've been losing. Not only do the 49ers need the confidence, but we need our record to stay positive, right? That's in my eyes. We have to roll into the bye week 4-4. Last year we got lucky going 3-5, and we still even lost a couple after we came out. We had a pretty badass game against the Rams, a get right game, got the 49ers back on track, and then we still ended up losing a couple games. So the more cushion you can give yourself, the better, because last year we ended up in a must-win game against the Rams in Week 18. Super tough game. I thought by halftime that we lost because we were down like 0-17. So there goes the 49ers again, giving me my heart palpitations. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that this season, man. And that's one of the reasons I was never really a huge fan of having Garoppolo as our starting quarterback this year. Just because I'm so used to the heart palpitations already that I'm just tired of it, man. I just want to blow teams out. I just want to dominate. That's the kind of team I want to have, especially a dynasty. But Crazy Juice says, well, at least we got Trent Williams for this matchup, since we didn't have him for the first game against the Lambs. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I hope 1 week removed from having that rough game against Kansas City, where he still looked pretty rusty and looked like he looked like he was getting back from injury. So hopefully he doesn't look as worse of the wear this game. He looks better. I'm sure he will. And our O-line tends to do pretty decently against outside of the NFC Championship. The 49ers our offensive line does pretty good against the the Rams' defensive line and Aaron Donald. So, yeah, man, I hope we're gonna have to keep an eye on Trent Williams. Very curious to see McGlinchey, man. I don't, is he going to be starting first of all? And Crazy Juice, if you want to call in, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but I did put a link in the comments if you want to call in and give any thoughts and kind of go back and forth. Today's definitely a call-in show. Yeah, I love hearing everybody's opinion, so I would love to go back and forth about it. But yeah, some of the guys that were activated, I'm excited to see. Willie Snead, I talked about it before. He's a solid veteran, and I feel like he can add something to this offense if he's just given the chance. And I feel like he hasn't really been given the chance. I talked about it before, where the interception, I think it was in the Falcons game that Jimmy Garoppolo threw, where it kind of sailed a little high over Deebo Samuel and was picked off. Well, if you look in the screen behind him, I believe it was Willie Snead behind him running wide open for a touchdown. And that's what I'm talking about. The underdogs, sometimes they don't even get looked at for whatever reason. And when you have a quarterback that doesn't have a bias, and really even a head coach that doesn't have a bias, and you give everybody the chance and make them all feel like they're a piece, then you're going to give yourself a lot more opportunity for success and touchdowns, because you never know who's going to get open, who's going to blow a coverage, and who's going to be sitting in the right spot. So you just got to have all your eyes open for all areas of the field instead of just picking favorites and sticking to that, because then you get yourself in trouble with staring down receivers as well, right? So there's that too, because Garoppolo does have a tendency to stare down his receivers. He does his he makes his decision on who he wants to throw to before the snap typically, and so you'll see him stare that side of the field down, and then that gets the linebackers to come down, and that's how a lot of his interceptions come. Now, this year that he's extending the field a little more, which is, I'm really glad to see. I know there's a lot of 49er fans that are happy to see that, because we haven't seen the deep throws since like 2019, last one being in the Super Bowl. But Garoppolo had a lot of success with that, even though there was one against the second game against the Rams. He actually underthrew Emmanuel Sanders, and Emmanuel Sanders was a little frustrated by it. But, at that point, you have to just make it a catchable ball, right? You can't risk overthrowing him. So underthrowing him is all right. And you get the completion and end up winning the game with the field goal. But I know Emmanuel Sanders wanted to run that one in for a touchdown, but hey, can't get them all. Can't get them all. I don't know if you guys could tell my nose is still a little bit stuffy. Yeah, still a little rough, but getting better definitely. But real quick, actually, before we go any further, I was supposed to start the video out like this. I always forget. But if everybody could go ahead and stop everything you're doing, throw a like in the like tab, and please subscribe, guys, with the bell notification. Turn it on for all notifications from Niner Gang Wolfcast, so you guys know every time that I go live. I would really appreciate it, because we want to have you guys in here as much as possible whenever we can, so we can have that little back and forth that I've been talking about. But yeah, I would really appreciate all the likes, guys, because I'll have like hundreds and hundreds of views and I'll have like 16 likes. Come on, guys, don't hate. Show the support. I would have really appreciate it, man. Crazy Juice says, I think Brunskill should start today since he usually play better against the Lambs. Yeah, man. I think there was actually on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have been seeing like those Halloween costume kits that have been coming out. They've been a pretty big meme this year. They had one of Jimmy Garoppolo, and it says hot mediocre quarterback kit. And it says all this stuff about interception prone and super good looking, great jawline, mediocre play or something. It's all this stuff, right? And there was one of Brunskill, and it says it has his picture on it, and then I think it says Aaron Donald neutralizer or something like that, right? And it says the kit, and I forget what the traits were or what was included in the kit, but it's super funny. I got to try and find that in that picture. I think Eric Crocker or Jesse Naylor were the one that retweeted it or something. It was pretty funny. But yeah, Brunskill, man, he's always had success against Aaron Donald and the Rams for whatever reason. A couple of actually, like Tom Compton and some of the like second string players have had success against the Rams as well for whatever reason, man. I don't know if it's just a game plan or the Rams haven't gotten as much film, so they don't know how to game plan for those guys. But yeah, like I said, overall as a whole offensive lineman, they've done pretty well. I'm assuming that Brunskill is going to be starting at right guard today. So I don't know if he's going to be at right tackle, but just from what we've been seeing so far, I think Brunskill is taking the right guard spot for now. And then I don't know. I would rather see him in place of McGlinchey though, and not see more of what we've been seeing from McGlinchey with that all those rough mistakes, man. The penalties at the wrong times, the getting blown up at the wrong times, and getting choke slammed. Poor guy, man. But hey, man, yeah, like we would like to see Brunskill at right tackle. But yeah, hopefully we could get some people calling in here soon. I don't really have too much to go over, just Jimmy Garoppolo, do good. You do what you've been doing, Jimmy Garoppolo. You've been doing enough. Hopefully, I feel, in my opinion, the O-line hasn't been helping Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, actually, okay. So last week against the Chiefs, the O-line was screwing everything up for the whole offense. Then you go the week before, it was the receivers. So it's like either way, you're screwed. And sorry if you guys could hear the background noise. Yeah, it should stop here soon. But yeah, if it's not one thing, it's the other. But I don't feel like Jimmy Garoppolo has been the problem at all whatsoever. Yeah, he's had his couple interceptions and whatever, but it's like in garbage time, basically, when you're just at that point, you're just Hail Marying every pass to try and catch up and try and score something, right? Like against the Falcons. Same thing against the Chiefs. I know he had that boneheaded throw in the red zone for, was it 3-yard Hail Mary? It got picked off in the end zone. So it's frustrating to see stuff like that when you can just, either take the sack or throw the ball away. Or you can hit your hot read in Jeff Wilson Jr. for a touchdown. But which you should know as a professional quarterback in the NFL, you should know what your check down is, what your hot read is if you see a blitz. But again, there too, the O-line let the Chiefs blow right past them, and Garoppolo had pressure in his face like almost immediately. And so he probably didn't read the blitz ahead of time. And so that's why you had a whole screwed up play. So you can blame him for a couple things, but for like at least 80% of the time, he's on point, and either receivers are dropping the balls or the O-line is giving up sacks and pressures. So we need, as a whole offensive unit, to come together. And if we were to do that, I think it's going to work really well. I'm really interested in what Christian McCaffrey is going to do today. Of course, with Deebo Samuel being out, he's not going to have as much pressure taken off of him, being Christian McCaffrey. And the Rams defense isn't going to have such a huge focus. They're not going to have to focus on Deebo Samuel as much this game, right? Because he's not going to be there. So a lot of that focus might be shifted to Christian McCaffrey. So I'm interested to see how big of an impact he's going to have in today's game, man. Crazy Juice says, yeah, I seen those memes. Those are pretty funny. I hope Nick Zakelj gets to develop, right? So he could be our starting center for the future. Man, at this point, and you know what? I was actually curious. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but Blake Hance is supposed to be like a Daniel Brunskill, who's a Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. We brought him over from the Browns, and he was a pretty good piece for them. like Brunskill that can move around the whole offensive line and be a pretty good piece. I don't know why, he got waived. And I know it's to make space for other players to be activated and added to the practice squad, all that type of stuff. But it's kind of rough to see, man, when that's somebody who's proven himself in the league to be, you can utilize him, I could say. And so I'm curious to see what happens with him. A lot of these guys that get released from the practice squad or waived from the active roster, you tend to see them come back. And so they continue to rotate in and out. Tevin Coleman being one of them. Who else? Tevin Coleman, Willie Snead was another one. So I think we are going to see Blake Hance back on the practice squad. He's proven that he can do it. So we'll see how that goes. But Nick Zakelj, Brendel had a better game in the last game, so I want to see how he does today. But he has been looking rough for a while. Now, if he can continue to build and get better instead of worse, then I would want to stick with him. But Zakelj being there, I would, as long as we get a good piece behind Brendel in case he starts screwing up or he gets hurt, I'm all ears. I'm all in favor for it. So definitely. But yeah, man, love to know your guys' thoughts. Like I said, I'm curious to see how the whole offense performs with no Deebo Samuel today, no Juszczyk actually. That was another one I forgot to mention. No Juszczyk today. He's a pretty critical piece. Ross Dwally should be in place of him today. So I would love to see Ross Dwally get some touches. That should be badass. It's going to be something to look out for. If Kyle Shanahan doesn't call his number, man, I swear, that's it. Give Kyle Shanahan the boot. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, man, we need to get Ross Dwally some touches in the offense. We don't got no Kyle Juszczyk today, and Kyle Juszczyk usually helps with calling the protections for the offensive line. So that might look a little rougher today, but we'll see. We'll see, man. Hopefully he's back right after the bye week. I'm going to read what Romelo Bell has to say here. What's going on? It's my first time here. Seemed like a great show. I was just watching other teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, Cowboys. I remember people saying that they wasn't going to be good quarterbacks. If you're talking about Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts, I think everybody thinks that Dak Prescott's a really good quarterback, but I think the Cowboys as a whole they tend to crumble. We saw it in the playoffs versus the 49ers last year where the Cowboys didn't really face any tough teams. And so, you're kind of seeing the same thing again this year with the Eagles. So who knows how good of a record they would have against actual good teams. But, the Cowboys didn't really face anybody last year until they saw the 49ers who were battle tested already at that point, and you kind of saw it play out in the game. So that's probably a big part of it. I think everybody is pretty confident in how good of a quarterback Dak Prescott is. Now, Jalen Hurts, I think people saw the potential even last year, but I didn't think anybody saw the Eagles having this good of a record to come out with. Now, I did see, in the offseason, before the season started, that a lot of NFL analysts were projecting the Eagles to be a problem for the NFC this year. So, definitely depending who you ask. The Eagles have been playing us pretty tough these past couple of years too. So I never was really in favor of playing the Eagles after what I saw, even last year at the beginning of the season, we barely beat them. So, and I was curious to see how Trey Lance would have done against Jalen Hurts because when we played the Eagles, it was Jimmy Garoppolo playing. So curious to see about that. But Romelo, good to have you in here. Appreciate you being here. Would love that if anybody wants to call in and kind of go back and forth with the game today and what's going on with the 49ers. Would love. I already put the link in the comments. Here, I'll go ahead and throw it in there again. If you guys want to call in, you don't have to show your face. But we got CG Ruthless in here saying, yo, hey, what's up, bro? Hope you're having a good day today. Ready for some 49er football. And Crazy Juice says, I think Ayuk will be a big factor in this game for us. Hey, man, he better. He's been, ramping up little by little. Glad to see that this year he's being incorporated in the offense a lot more than in the past couple of years, right? Well, actually, he was pretty big weapon for us back in 2020 when everybody was getting hurt. So, yeah, hopefully Ayuk kind of makes up for some of what we're losing on the offense with Debo. But we got my boy CG Ruthless in here. You ready, bro? Ready?
Yep. Right. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Man, that stream was killing like last night at that game, dude. Everybody was talking about how they came from behind. Fresno State was down by 18, dude. Shit. My wife wanted me to go home after this shit. I told her the game ain't even over yet. What the hell?
Are you a Fresno State? You're a Fresno State fan?
Yeah. Secondary wise, because I went to school there.
Oh, okay. Right on. Right on. Yeah, that was pretty big around
me. I'm an Oklahoma fan.
I was living in Madera for a while, so that was pretty big around there. Did you ever know Madera?
Speaking of the matchup wise, dude,
okay.
As far as Clovis. Well, the only best way we can definitely beat the Rams is how the Panthers use McCaffrey. We got to utilize him more. Try to get Ayuk as much involved as possible because we know what he can do. It's just I want to see what we could do with Danny Gray. Danny Gray hasn't got an opportunity. We got to get those big plays. That's where the Rams struggled the most. And instead of trying to limit Cooper Kupp, I think Van Jefferson will probably be their difference maker because nobody's talking about him. I think he's not limited no more, and they're going to play him this week. So our best chance to pretty much beat the Rams is to force Stafford to throw the ball like he usually does. And that's how we win because they don't like to run the ball. They abandoned the running game.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about how Andy Reid was able to scheme up his receivers to be open, like super open and just sit down in certain zones. And so I'm curious to see if the Rams, they scheme that same stuff up and kind of expose the 49ers defense again. We had Emmanuel Mosley last time, so we're going to have to see how the 49ers do without Emmanuel Mosley this time because the Rams couldn't really get anything going on offense outside of just, short throws all day. You're going to say something?
As far as concerning factor, dude, Stafford isn't Patrick Mahomes. Their offensive line is terrible, dude. They don't have none of the same weapons as Kansas City. Kansas City is Kansas City. They're just going to play a good game. Mahomes throws that ball quick. It's hard to get him. So with Stafford, he's known to hold on to the ball for a little bit more, and he makes boneheaded decisions. And I like how these Rams fans are hyping and getting a little too excited about this. Like, oh, we got the blueprint. What blueprint are you talking about, dude? Maybe you need to go to the Atlanta game. Run the ball. Just run the ball. I dare you guys to run the ball. You guys are not going to run the ball.
Oh, if you guys actually could. Oh, man.
No, because when Atlanta's down by points, when Atlanta's down by a couple touchdowns, they still ran the ball. If the Rams were down by 2 touchdowns, I highly doubt they're going to run the ball.
Yeah, and I think part of the defense, what they're trying to scheme up was kind of limiting Patrick Mahomes, like trying to contain him. I think that was part of it because, the 49ers defense, typically they struggle against mobile quarterbacks. So I think they were trying to avoid that. So they were probably overcompensating for that. And he actually never really took off for any major runs. So you don't really have to worry with that against Stafford so much. So hopefully they correct that. But Crazy Juice is asking if Juwan Jennings is still questionable. Yeah, I haven't seen anything on that yet. He's been questionable. I haven't checked it. I've been checking all the news and everything, but that was one thing I haven't seen pop up yet. So I'm assuming he's not going to play because they activated big Tay Martin as well as Willie Snead.
I think the reason why they got him in because in case Jennings doesn't play, they can just always put Tate Martin in. But I think that's like you know how they always have those 46 guys in case one of the guys missed, they can always get the other person in.
Yeah.
But it's a good there's a good chance that Jennings could play.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Like I said, I haven't seen anything on it, but the indications with Tay Martin being activated as well as Willie Snead, that kind of gives an indication of whether he's probably not going to play, but hopefully he does, man. Romelo says,
yeah, you know, they always like to activate.
Go ahead.
They always like to activate the players in case those players can't play. Like they did it with Dante Johnson with one of our cornerbacks where they thought he wasn't going to play, so they had Dante Johnson in case he wasn't clear. So you know how they always do those pre-games and do those warm-ups, and if they're good to go, they'll just let them in.
Yeah. And then too, like Jason Verrett's been activated, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on whether he's actually gonna play. Maybe some slot time or something today. But
yeah,
especially if we're blowing the Rams out at the end, maybe we could get Jason Verrett a couple reps just to kind of get his feet wet. Tell him to
be careful. Back.
Yeah. Tell him to be careful, a little bit careful though.
Yeah,
reserve a little bit of that.
I guess what Romelo was saying, like you said, 100% correct on Trey Lance, but didn't want to let him grow behind this offense. Like, I think by next year we'll know what he's capable of. I mean, I think Shanahan should have just been using him more as a passer. I get that using him as a mobile quarterback is a huge asset, but you might want to develop him more as a passer. You don't need him to run the ball.
Yeah, and you want to do it when the defense is not expecting it. You don't want to just run and run with your quarterback, man. Come on, dude. Like, we don't know if we're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo to kind of not be our savior, but kind of, you know, in a way be that backup savior for us. We don't know if that's going to happen next year. So, you know, you got to throw all those run plays, just throw them out, honestly. Just every once in a while, let him scramble out of the pocket. And if you're going to run him, do it in space. I never understood why they're doing quarterback powers. I know he did it in college, but this isn't college. You're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. So you need to kind of scrap that.
No, I mean, college football is different, but Shanahan really thinks that's going to translate. I get that his skill set's unique, but if you're going to use Trey, at least use him to a certain extent. Like, try to like get him to be more of a pocket passer because that makes him more scarier than actually being a runner because everybody's thinking, oh, he's a scary runner, right? They're going to think he's just a mobile quarterback. But if you develop him as a passer, he's going to have more of a what is it, like an asset to where he can be effective and be a secret weapon. Yeah, opening up the lanes. And then, like you said, it has to be unexpected to where he runs, not where they expect it. You know, they already expected him to run.
Yeah, and you're seeing the Bears. They're utilizing Justin Fields in that aspect, but they're doing it in a smart way, almost exactly like what we're saying. You see, like his biggest chunk plays where he's using his legs, they're coming off scrambles where he's running out of the pocket on pass plays. They're not designed runs; they're pass plays where it kind of just breaks down and he takes off for like 20, 30 yards. And then when they do run him by design run, it's a zone read where he runs to the outside and he gets like 3 or 4 yards for a first down. That's what you should be doing with Trey Lance. And look who's healthy. Justin Fields, not Trey Lance.
Yeah.
So
if we can use him like that, that would be a big difference. But instead we're using him more as a running back or exactly like a wildcat formation type of thing. But I don't understand why Shanahan can't just he just doesn't know how to develop quarterbacks, just like he did with RG3. RG3 was effective. Just that one dumb injury is what pretty much ruined his career. And I'm hoping it's not the same with Trey Lance because this guy has a promising career. I mean, whatever happens this season, whether we make the playoffs or not, but if it comes down to changes, I wouldn't be upset about the possibility of Shanahan going, bro, because if you can't develop Trey the right way, dude, I would rather have a Ken Dorsey or Eric Bieniemy. At least they would be able to utilize their strength and not try to use them to where they get hurt or put in harm's way. You know, I don't like how they just have them run the middle. It's risky. Yeah. And our running backs get injured too. when they run those middles.
Yeah, no, seriously. And it was really, oh man, it was such a bad freak accident too, because it's not like they just cracked his ass. Like they didn't just lay a huge hit on him, they just landed on his ankle. And it's like that's the type of stuff when you get him in space, he can slide.
Yeah, and he needs to work on sliding too. And coming from a guy who had ankle surgery, it's no joke, bro. It's hard with the pressure. When you walk with a broken fibula, it hurts like a motherfucker. But I'm pretty sure they're going to give him something to where it gives him the joints and stuff, because most athletes have that to protect themselves more. But as a guy with ankle injuries, dude, those can be injuries that can really be the issue. Because RG3, I think he had issues with his ACL, but I think it added on with more injuries. But going into the season, bro, I know a lot of these people are giving Jimmy all this praise, and I'm still critical about him, but at least I'll give him his props from time to time, but I'm not really big on Jimmy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you, man. I'm not big on Jimmy either, but I'm big on,
you know?
Yeah, I'm not big on Jimmy either, but it's just I would rather have him right now than probably what's his name? Brock Purdy. Or what's the other dude?
Yeah, Brock Purdy's Sudfeld.
Nate Sudfeld. Yeah, Nate Sudfeld. Imagine if we had to deal with Nate Sudfeld right now.
Yeah,
man.
but
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know why they paid this guy $2 million. Now we cut him. Waste of cap space. But
yeah, no, for real.
I got to get back to my shift right now because somebody's calling me and I don't want to be rude. But hey, dude, keep doing what you're doing. For anybody else that hasn't subscribed to Wolfcast, bro, go subscribe him, man. He's one of my native tribe brothers. Maybe we'll come up with a show called The Niner Tribe.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, everybody jump onto CG Ruthless's channel too, bro. Have a good day, man. Hope we have a good game. Take care, bro.
All right, you too, bro. Take it easy.
Yeah. Hey. All right, hell yeah. We got our first caller in, breaking us in for the morning. We need to get a couple more of you guys in, but David says I ain't in my Wi-Fi and can't hop on. Golden 49ers. Hell yeah, man. Hope you're having a great day, bro. And he says, CG, tell Wolf how to make you how to make him a moderator. Yeah, I'm gonna figure that out, man. I woke up late today. I had to sleep in. It's like my one day I get to sleep in because I work all week, have to wake up early. Then yesterday I threw a birthday party for my daughter, so we had to wake up early and get a couple more things and decorate and all that stuff. So today was my one day where I was like, oh man, I'm gonna sleep in a bit. And so we started the show late. Sorry about that. But Romello says, what's up, CG? And we don't want Jimmy on this team at all. He's nothing but a headache. Hey, man. Like I said, in my opinion, like who else, I would rather have Jimmy than not have him at this point right now since Trey Lance is down. Now, I would have loved to have Trey Lance and things not go the way they did. But, that's not the case now. So I'm glad we have Garoppolo in place of that. And, he's been doing all the things for the most part that could lead the 49ers to have success. But I feel like it's been everybody else letting us down. It's a team sport. Everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to make it work. And I don't feel like that's what's been going on. And so I would have put it on Garoppolo. He makes his couple mistakes, but outside of that, it's mostly everybody else. Oh. But you guys want to drop your predictions in here, man? Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the 49ers are winning today, and by how much? What do you think the score is going to be? I kind of have to sit and think about this one because I made a prediction earlier in the week of the 49ers winning 27-20. But then, kind of sit and think about it. We're not going to have Kyle Juszczyk. But we have Ross Dwelly. He's great. No Debo, but we're just going to have to wait and see. We do have McCaffrey. We didn't have McCaffrey last time. I'm very curious to see, man. This could be closer, like a 24-19 49ers win. And I don't want to say it, man, but I could see the 49ers not winning this game. And That's really going to piss me off, because when the 49ers have all the right pieces, they still don't win. So it's frustrating at that point. So hopefully we get the win. Crazy Juice says Niners win 24-21. I could definitely see that. Definitely. I don't know if I should place any bets today. I might have to go and place some bets. I need to start incorporating that into the show as well. I've been saying I was going to do that. I haven't really done it yet. The spreads, the over-unders, all that type of stuff. I like to do parlays because you bet like really low amounts of money. Like I've bet $3 on a parlay before and won like $180 off that $3 bet. And it's like super easy. You can just be like, okay, Garoppolo to throw for 200 yards plus, Kittle to have 30 yards, Jeff Wilson Jr. to run for at least 40 yards, stuff like that, right? So, yeah, I try to keep it, simple and safe for what I think the 49ers are going to do. And even some other players like Cooper Kupp, I'll say like he'll have at least 40 yards receiving, and then throw that in the parlay. And it just every step you add to it multiplies your winnings. But Crazy Juice said thoughts on the rumors of trading Jeff Wilson Jr. Now, I don't know if you heard me talk about it in the last video, but I'm kind of in the middle on this one. If the 49ers could get really good compensation to recuperate some of what we lost for Christian McCaffrey, or even just to add pieces to build our team up, like get a corner to make up for not having Emmanuel Mosley, then maybe you do that. Or even, an offensive lineman. But, when it comes to offensive pieces, I'm not as confident in it because it takes a pretty good while to learn Kyle Shanahan's scheme, learn the playbook and stuff like that. So it's a lot tougher. But at the same time, Elijah Mitchell's not back yet. He should be back soon. But Jeff Wilson Jr. has been that guy for us mostly, for the most part. The young guys haven't gotten their chance, really. So we don't know what we have in them. We don't know how confident the 49ers are in them. Maybe they're just saving them for the playoff run if we have that. But, Elijah Mitchell never stays healthy. If you lean on Christian McCaffrey, he's shown in his past on the Panthers, when he's leaned on, he tends to get injured. So you got two injury-prone running backs, and then you got Jeff Wilson Jr., who's been pretty steady for us. We do have Tevin Coleman back, but I don't feel like he's as explosive as Jeff Wilson Jr. Now, I don't feel like he's as much of a receiving threat as Jeff Wilson Jr. as well on a consistent basis. I know he had that really good catch on the sideline, the 50-50 ball. But outside of that, Jeff Wilson Jr. has always been the more consistent receiver out of the backfield. If we're just between him and Coleman. And even Mostert, when Mostert was here, Jeff Wilson Jr. was thrown in there as the third down back a lot of the times because he had better hands than the other guys. So I'm not really in favor of it, but it just depends on what we would get. Right now is probably not even really a good time to do it. The 49ers, we might have to just see how today goes. Give Jeff Wilson the ball, let him see how he does, let him audition for other teams, and just get a feel for how the 49ers feel about him. If he fumbles again, then that might be it. That might be the nail in the coffin to say, hey, too many fumbles. See you later, bro. Because this coaching staff, Kyle Shanahan, they don't like fumbles. You fall into pretty bad favor with them pretty quickly if you start fumbling the ball. And so that's why I was pretty surprised to see Jeff Wilson starting last week. I was curious to see if that was going to happen. Let me know what you think, though, Crazy Juice, and anybody else who wants to tap in on that. Romello says, no, you're 100% right. We could have gotten Cam Newton. We could have gotten Mariota. We could have got that guy that's behind the Giants quarterback, somebody that would help. They didn't do it. Yeah, you would have liked to see somebody who's more similar to Trey Lance's game style, right? But at the same time, it's kind of give and take because that guy would have had to come in and learn a new system, whereas Garoppolo already knows it. But, at the same time, Kyle Shanahan brings in a new coaching staff. They had this this flushing of the coaching staff. And so you only got a couple guys back. Most everybody else is gone. So a lot of new coaching staff that don't really know as well how to game plan with Garoppolo. So yeah, definitely somebody like Cam Newton or Mariota would have helped. But it's tough because then what would you have done? Would you have traded Garoppolo to where was Mariota? He was on where was he at before this? Wasn't the Colts, right? Because where the hell he was on the Raiders. I know he was on the Raiders, but then when the Falcons traded for him, I think he was on the Colts. It was a weird transaction. No, okay. So Matt Ryan was traded to the Colts, and Mariota was traded from the Raiders to the Falcons. Yeah. So the 49ers probably would have to traded Garoppolo to the Raiders for Mariota, which he looked really good, man. So I would have liked to see what he could have done behind Trey Lance. But yeah, Cam Newton's another guy. But yeah, man, I think I'm just gonna get ready for the game now. Not getting as many people calling in as we usually do. I know it's kind of early and everybody's getting ready for the game. So I appreciate everybody that was in here. Remember, please, everybody that watches the video, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna go ahead and tap out and get ready for the game, I guess. Head out. Yeah, but I appreciate you guys, man. I hope everybody has a great day. 49ers better win today, man. It is a must win. We got to win this shit. We got to get the season right back on track and make a push for the playoffs. Mariota was a free agent, says David. Was he? I could have sworn they traded for him, but okay. That's ridiculous then, man. You let a guy like that slip through your fingers. I wonder what his contract is then. I don't know Mariota's contract. I wonder if they paid him a lot. But yeah, hope everybody has a great day. 49ers better win today, man.